guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, it's your boy Cobe Rising. Coming for you, coming for you.
Everyone know we the realest, a bunch of go-getters. I bet you can tell I'm the illest. You don't need your fingers to feel it. You know I can straight spit, knock you out with a lady hit. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neo, but this is the real life, not the Matrix. I'm about to go ape shit.
What it do? What it do? It's your boy Cobe Rise and Rise. We back at it again with a banger. You dig? Shout out to all the risers, man. Shout out to all the risers. Let's bring in Showtime in this thing, man. What's going on, my brother? What's going on?
Peace, boy. Showtime in the building. What's going on, baby?
Hey, man, you looking fresh over there, bro. I'm liking that shirt. You feel me? And it's got my favorite color in there.
Appreciate you. Salute.
That's real, man. That's real, man. How you been this week, bro?
Man, it's been a great week, man. Great week, challenging week. Man, just got back from Detroit earlier this week, man. My grandfather was inducted into the R&B Hall of Fame.
I saw that, man. Congratulations, bro.
Much appreciated, man. Still just feeling some of that Hall of Fame energy, man. I was inspired, man. A lot of those old songs that we hear, I was able to meet a lot of those original writers, man. I know we all know the Temptations, man. David Ruffin. So, you know, a lot of his family was out there, man. I think it was either his son or somebody related to him was one of the hosts, man. So it was just really inspiring, man. I'm still feeding off of some of that Hall of Fame energy, man. Just being around a bunch of, you know, great people out just trying to live. You know, you'd be surprised, man. Some of those older musicians could still move, you know. So I'm definitely inspired, man. That you know, lead us right into what we're gonna talk about tonight. You know, just still trying to live, man, and just doing those things that taking those precautions, those precautionary measures as we age, and just really valuing life, man, to be able to still move and perform. You know, so it was a great weekend for me. How about you? How you living?
That's real, man. Everything's going great, man. Everything's going good, man. We finally got everything going with the Facebook accountability group. So for y'all that's joining in, hey, if y'all want to get into this accountability group, make sure you shoot us a message on our Facebook group, or you can send us a message, on our IG. You feel me? And so we're just getting everything started with that. You know, so we're definitely on the up and up, man. But everything else has been going good. Getting ready for the winter time. It's fall season, you dig? So that means the temperature's changing. I've been hearing a whole lot of coughs and sneezes lately. So, you know, we got to prepare for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, everything else been going good for real, man. And I think it's a good segue to the topic too, man. But we're going to shout out to everybody that's jumping in, man. Shout out to my man Ernest, big dog. What's going on? You know everything is good, baby. You dig what I'm saying? Yes, sir. So, man, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing blessed. I hope you're feeling better as well, man. You dig? So I did see the Facebook post. You dig? So shout out to Ernest. You feel me? But yeah, man. So today's topic, man, is being strong actually slows the aging process down. You dig what I'm saying? So what do you think about that statement just alone? Just hearing that statement. What's the first thing that comes off the top of your head?
Being strong slows down the aging process. Man, that just means, you know, kind of like I mentioned with some of those musicians, just prioritizing, you know, how we age, you know, just prioritizing how we age and maybe implementing some strength measures, you know, whatever that may mean to you, whether that means, you know, it's not We don't just talk physically strong here at the Rise and Rise Academy. We talk mentally strong. We talk all the time about mindset. We talk about being nutritionally strong, making strong, disciplined decisions when it comes to what you eat, right at that table. So, man, like I can go on and on, just about being strong and how that can prolong your life. I can't wait. I want to wait till we dive in a little deeper to give one of these quotes that I grabbed from the little clip.
Yeah. So we may actually match some quotes for real, because it's been a lot of quotes, man. And I'll just kind of give my take before we even get into it for real. So when I think of strength as slowing the aging process down, you know what I think of? I look at my granddaddy, right? You ever heard somebody say, man, he got that old man strength? You know what I'm saying? He got that old man strong, you dig? So I remember so my granddad, he had a farm, right, growing up. He was always in the garden, man, always chopping wood. I mean, he was just moving, working on the car. It could be anything, man. He could be doing something on the roof, hammering something down, chopping something up, right? Always doing something with his hands. As for his age, man, he was just real strong. You know what I mean? So I think about, and I hear it all the time about the old man strength. And my granddad on my mom's side, he would always have hand grippers. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't know what hand grippers are one of those things where, like, when you squeeze it, it's kind of hard to squeeze, but what it does is it focuses on getting your hand strength really strong, right? So my granddaddy on my mom's side, he was really amazing at bowling, right? He had really great hand strength. And so a lot of these things, kept them moving, right? Kept them moving. So every time I hear of grown man strength, I always think of, just moving bodies, right? And I noticed how just the guys that were doing stuff were strong. They were able to move at a much better pace. They were always sharp-minded, different things like that. You dig what I'm saying? So when I see something like, being strong slows aging down, I can actually see that. Because when I think of, when I see other older guys, maybe around our grandparents' age, some of them aren't moving like that. Some of them are just, more, I don't want to say docile, but just they're less active. You know what I'm saying? They're less active. So a lot of them don't move like that. But I also see the difference because, when you're doing things to continue your strength, I see them kind of prolonging or at least maintaining to where they're not getting older quicker. So when I think of, being strong soldier aging, that's what I typically think of, right? You know what I'm saying? So and just for y'all that don't know, me and Showtime, we seen this video where there's a guy called High Intensity Health, shout out to High Intensity Health, where he brings statistics to showing that actual weak muscles age you faster, and they make a compelling case, and I'll start with a quote and I'll have you come back with a quote. You may have the same thing. So, but it says that regardless, they talk about grip strength, right? And remember what I said when I saw my granddad having a hand gripper, he would always use it, every once in a while. But grip strength is clinically relevant to a biomarker of aging and global and relative to stability over time. So pretty much, in a deeper dive of it, right? If you have a strong hand grip, typically that means you're more on the stronger side, and that clinically has been shown to slow aging down based on the strength of your hand. So basically, if you have a weaker hand grip, that clinically is linked to more of weaker muscles, which also accelerated the aging process. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm gonna actually add the link into the comment section so everybody can kind of check that out. You dig? And so a lot of those things are in, or meaning the sightings are in the video. So yeah. So Showtime, what kind of quotes did you get from that vid, bro?
And I'm actually putting it in, man. It's a good one, but I'm gonna build it up before I let it go. So I did want to mention, man, you spoke about your grandfather having that grown man strength. I remember in New York, man. I don't know if you're familiar with it. My dad used to have these balls, man. I gotta give it a pause, but they were like these. They were heavy, and I believe they were like metal, but they were designer. You know, like they had a nice little box they came in. And if anybody knows, man, about these, man, I want you to just drop it in the comments. Definitely, if you see this video post, I want you to still drop it in the comments because they were really big, really popular. A lot of people had it growing up in New York, and it would it's almost like a stress ball, but they were heavy. They were like metal balls. You could get different sizes, and you would just bring two in your hand and just kind of, you know, work on that motion, work on that grip strength. You know, and two things that when you were talking, it made me think of that can strengthen your grip. You know, that also it strengthens your grip. Not only does it strengthen your grip, but if you notice, a lot of people, they get the arthritis, especially as you age, and it stiffens your hand. So think about that too. So when we speak about grip strength and we speak about prolonging life, I want you to think about that as well. And also, I wanted to mention calisthenics.
Yeah, talk to him. I knew he was gonna come with that. I knew it.
So when we do things in the calisthenic field, we always work on grip strength. That's one thing I always talk about. I always prioritize. I let people know that it's important to just increase and improve your grip strength. We have all different type of simple things, like we call what's called a dead hang, where you just kind of hang on the bar. That's going to increase your grip strength and how you can just when you think about picking things up, you think about holding groceries, you're thinking about being able just to hold on, to anything. You never know what type of emergencies or what you may need to do. So that grip strength is extremely important, and it makes so much sense how it correlates with aging. When I seen it, I had never heard anything like it, but there are studies that show that grip strength. And if you're not familiar, just to give it a little bit more in depth, when we speak about grip strength, they have all different type of things where you can exercise those hands. Have you ever seen just the little things? It's just all sorts of little measures, man. I've seen little individual finger grips where you can just go, you'll see them at Academy. You can just kind of, push individual fingers. And like I said, man, not only does that improve your grip strength, but when I think about it, man, I think about how many elders do I know with the stiff hands, with the stiff hands, stiff movement, how it hinders movement and just different things. But I got the quote in, man, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it off. So what I caught, and my favorite thing, was a negative perception of how you're aging is linked to accelerating aging. And I want to break that down. So a lot of times, man, I've been talking to my boy out there when we were doing calisthenics, man. We were just kind of chopping it up. And we were speaking about just the difference. And there's a gentleman that comes out there, man, and he does pull-ups, full-length pull-ups. I think he said he was in his 70s, 73 to be exact. So I asked him today, literally, he rides 20 miles daily on his bike and does those pull-ups. Okay. And then we spoke about just, how sometimes in our culture, especially African Americans, we kind of feel like, oh man, I'm eating what I want to eat. I'm gonna go out how I want to go out. I'm 70. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do what I want to do at 70. I don't care nothing about what y'all talking about. I'm not gonna do no exercise. I'm not working out. I'm not doing this. So a negative perception of how you're aging is linked to speeding your aging up. So when you have that mindset of, oh man, I ain't going to eat that good food. I'm going to eat this pork every day, and I'm going to eat this bacon every day. And I'm not knocking you, but I'm just saying, when we know better, we should be doing better regardless of your age, and that was my favorite quote, man. I picked that up. I jot down my notes. Soon as I heard him say that, I was like, oh shoot.
I like that, bro.
How many of us know that you're speeding up your aging process just by being negative? By being negative. I don't care if you can't get out in the gym and do 7 days a week starting tomorrow. Just don't have a negative perception of it. You feel me? Like, you don't have to be negative about it. I don't care if you don't want to go plant-based. That's okay. Just don't be negative about it, because that in turn is speeding up your aging too.
Yeah, man. I actually I agree with you too. And I want to come back. Like, that mentality, man, it is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think about my grandma, you know what I'm saying? And she would always she would always have a positive outlook on everything, bro. I mean, and this actually happened. She actually dislocated her shoulder at one point, right? And it almost like it didn't even really phase her like that, because she kept it positive. You know what I'm saying? And she healed so quick, man. And I remember one time, she had fell at a restaurant, right? And ended up actually breaking like her pelvis bone. You feel me? Like she was up there in age at the point, man, and still acting like it really wasn't nothing. And she healed, I mean, quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the bone pretty much healed within, a few months. With At her age, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You dig? But a lot of that was from the mindset. You know what I'm saying? And that, like you said, that can make or break you. Think about this. Every time when people say, just don't stress too much, stress will make you sick. Well, I think that kind of correlates to that reason, having that negative mentality, it ages you. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen somebody old and bitter? You know what I'm saying? They always, they're not always vibrant, they're aging really accelerated, versus someone who's acting young, who's acting vibrant, who's happy. A lot of people like that, you don't necessarily know how old they are just because of based on how their mindset is and how they carry themselves. They carry themselves like they have a lot of energy, like they're young, they're always vibrant, they're talking, they're responsive. These things are linked to real healthy cognitive mindsets. And I'm glad we're speaking about cognition because there's actually a quote where he talks about being cognitive. So, excuse me, he says, and it actually kind of indicates where you're going. It's accelerated with biological aging when it's weaker muscles and weaker grip strength along to it. And that's what they're pretty much talking about. You can almost guarantee someone's overall strength based on their grip strength. So if they have generally weaker grip strength, then generally that person would have more weaker muscles, right? Versus someone who has a stronger grip strength, they're linked to stronger muscles, which also, the weaker muscles accelerates the aging, but not just the aging, but it also accelerates cognitive issue behaviors as well. So it's crazy how that is linked together, how the hand and the brain is connected kind of like all in one, right? And so that's kind of why I say this, like when we were talking about you had mentioned the grip strength of calisthenics, right? And about how that guy was able to do those things. A lot of the guys who are like older who do calisthenics, they tend to look better. They tend to look more shredded. They look younger and things like that. And so that's kind of how I like to put it, when bringing that up, man. So you bring a really good point to that.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah. Oh.
Yeah, man. It was a dope video, man. But y'all definitely should check that out for sure. They went through a bunch of different benchmarks to correlate the different types of strength, right? And you could probably agree to this show, but like, so the way I like to do it, I like to really train for strength, for real, for real. I love to train for strength because I know that's going to carry over in everything else. So for anybody who wants to build muscle, for example, you got to be stronger. You want to be able to do more. You got to be stronger to do that. And that just carries over just into longevity. Performance wise, athletes, the guys who are stronger typically do better, and that's just on a general base scale. So really being strong not only slows aging, but it also helps you progress generally in life. That's from a brain cognitive standpoint, but it's also from a body physicality standpoint as well.
Yeah. And while we on it, man, I just wanted to mention too, you mentioned your grandmother too, man, just having that strong mindset. While we on it, like I said, it's not just physically strong. A lot of people oh man, I can't work out in the gym. You have to have a strong mindset. Like your grandmother had a strong mindset. I had this, but it's not going to hold me down. I'm going to get back up from it. How many times do we see just such negative? I just want to speak on those negative mindsets, like like I said, man, that was the biggest thing. I listened and I heard everything else about grip strength, but like that quote just kind of stuck out to me, like, because I see all the time, man. It's just like, oh man, wait till you get this age or wait till you get that age. I literally had somebody tell me that this week, and wait till you get 60. I'm like, man, my mindset, my mindset is not quit. My mindset is keep getting stronger, so I think it's going to start there. Yes, the grip strength is extremely important, but your perception of how you age, I want you to keep that in mind. Your perception of everything, your perception of whether it be a weight loss. I know a lot of people struggle with obesity, and this is not just for aging, because that in itself will hurt you too. If you're obese and you're stressing or have a negative perception of how you're going to overcome that obesity, that's going to slow you down too. How many times do we hear that stress is a killer? Stress will kill you.
Yeah.
Stress will kill you slowly. So over time, just being mindful of your perception, how you perceive things, how you're looking at your situation. So
yeah,
definitely, this was a good one tonight. So
for sure, and I'm glad you mentioned the power of having that strong mindset as well, because those two, and I'll bring up hamstring only for the example of the fact that it's connected to the cognitive satisfaction, and that's the brain power, right? It's linked to higher life satisfaction, and so typically that's what gets the brain going. That's what helps you generate more ideas, be in a more brighter sense, so that way, yes, you can have a stronger mindset. For example, cognitive performance, the longitudinal analysis, that these are the scientific things that bring those two together, and why I guess you can call it clickbait, right? So being stronger, slows down aging. Well, those two kind of go hand in hand, and the things that me and Sho are talking about all go hand in hand. They all kind of link together at some point. Of course, we're given different scenarios, but overall, that's pretty much what we're saying. But it leads to so many more benefits. From a long-term perspective. I mean, gosh, I couldn't even tell you what I would do if I had a negative mindset to a few things that I've done, man. I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and it goes to just having that strong will to just keep going, keep striving, and keep trying to get to new heights. You dig? And so by doing that, I was able to learn more things about being plant-based. I was also able to learn really how to heal myself. How to heal myself, and that just comes to just the willpower, really, just to tell myself, like, you know what, you're gonna find a way. Always, that's the way I try to think is, how can I win out of the situation in the best way possible? And I think that goes hand in hand with a positive mindset.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to just add in, man, those the balls that I was talking about earlier. They're Chinese health exercise Bowling balls, okay, for relaxation and therapy. But if you're looking for something that'll help you with that grip strength, those are really good for the hands. And instantly, what came to mind?
I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. I've seen them before. I've seen them in movies. Like whenever the powerful guys, like they're in the movies and they're thinking about something, they always kind of like they switch them around. You know what I'm saying? And it looks dope. Number one, but number two, there's symbolism behind that. It's not there for no reason. It's definitely there for a reason.
Come on. And when I looked it up, it's who had to bring it in. The Chinese, man, they always, I see a lot, even with the Tai Chi, I always speak about just movement. They prioritize movement. They're thinking ahead. I heard I think I'm not sure what video, but I know that matter of fact, I know exactly what it was. It was an Earn Your Leisure where they would just mention just how the Chinese think 100 years ahead. I think it was it was just a clip, but just mentioning how they think 100 years ahead when it comes to finances, when it comes to health. They're thinking ahead. A lot of times we only see what's on the surface. So just prioritizing, man, doing what we can do. I want to leave you with definitely that grip strength, man. Prioritizing that grip strength. There's all sorts of things you can do, and it's not even that hard. The calisthenics, like we mentioned, I love it, man, because it just improves our grip. Just holding. Like I said, you can just hold that bar. We did different segments, we did different seminars, different expos, where we just talked about just the dead hang. You know, if you're not familiar with that term, I want you to look it up. What the benefits of a dead hang, what that can do, you know, especially if you're working on your grip. What just body weight dips can do, you know, on anything, a dip bar, even on your chair, just what that can do for your hands, for your hand strength, for your grip strength, all sorts of calisthenic movements that require you just kind of holding things will definitely help your grip. Even pushes for that matter.
Yep.
You know, and just keeping some flexibility in your hands. And I also want to mention one more time that perception. A negative perception of how you're aging is linked to accelerating aging. And there are studies on this. So if you can't do nothing else, I challenge you just to change your perception as you age. My dad has another great quote. He was the first one I heard say it to me. He said, age gracefully. You know, my dad still looks extremely well. He's not an old man, but you know, as he goes, man, we speak about this all the time, and he prioritizes his health. He thinks, you know, he knows his mentality is okay. Well, regardless, you won't have to, son. I'm going to try my best to stay in good health. You
Absolutely.
know, in the African American community, a lot of times we have those parents. Oh, you better look after me when I'm in the nursing home. Now I get it. We're gonna age.
Right.
But change that mentality. You know, change that mentality. My daughter's not gonna have to look after me. Now, if something happens, you know, and my family got my back. But my mentality is I'm going to be physically strong enough to take care of myself for as long as God has me on earth. You know,
100%.
like I said, man, if something happens, something happens. But that perception is everything. That mindset is everything.
I mean, you raise a good point, man. Like, because you always want to strive for excellence, man. And I'll go for that, because that's one thing that I was told is if you're gonna do something, go ahead and just go all the way with it. You know, and that really raises the mentality, or it raises the bar to do your best, to just give your A1. No one's gonna complain, or no one's gonna say anything if you're giving your all. I don't even care if you fail. If you gave it your all, everybody's gonna give 100% respect. And I've used this, I've seen this example before where, you know, when you see somebody working hard, you know what I'm saying, they might be sweating, doing all this and that, you know, and that person might be behind and whatever it is. But I know if you walk past that person, you're gonna look and say, man, that brother working, man, that's respect, because they giving their absolute best. Right. And so that is another way to kind of raise that mentality and really raise the standard for yourself. And then when I go into the gym, I have a goal in mind. I want to make sure I accomplish that goal, but I want to give it 100% effort. So let's say if my goal is to get, you know, maybe 10 reps of 225, I'm going to shoot for like 15. I'm going to try to exceed my expectations because I want to give my all. I want to give my best, you know. So I'm not, let's say if I can get to 10 and I know I can get more, the strive for excellence is going to tell me to go get more, because my mindset is always going to continue to grow. So that's how you want to always elevate and get over the plateau. You never really want to under exceed yourself. You want to over deliver upon your own expectations. That's how you continue to break through your ceilings and break through that wall that's always above you, right? You know, and these are things that I've done. These are things that I've been told, and these are things that I've kind of done to just achieve what I've achieved, right? And so I just wanted to kind of give that up as well. And another good thing with, and just to bring it back to the grip strength thing, there's ways you can do it weight wise too. You can also lift with thicker bars. So when you're bench pressing, use the thicker bar. That improves your grip strength, but it also increases your forearm strength. And they're all kind of linked together, right? So you're able to do more. Same thing with your deadlifts. So deadlifting heavy weight, that's going to work on your grip strength. So when I deadlift, I try not to use any of the straps. So for those who lift weights, they'll look at the straps on deadlift. I try to use only the hands. If I can't use my hands, I won't deadlift. You dig? And so the reason for it is because that makes you stronger. It makes you much more stronger. It makes you more durable. So that way you can do more. You can lift more. You dig? And so everybody else, they may have weak hands because they may not be able to grip strength. Nah, have some real tough hands. So that's going to help you get stronger, right? It's the same thing like with mechanics. mechanics have to have strong hands so they can, turn these bolts, turn these knobs, and put things in place in perspective. And again, it all just kind of it goes hand in hand together. Another great tool is farm walks, and I think Showtime, you actually mentioned it. Just carrying something that's really heavy, that's gonna work on grip strength. So farmer carries are where you just take 2 dumbbells, just pick them up and just do farmer walks. Just walk from one end to the gym to the other end of the gym while carrying that heavy weight. That's gonna work on your grip strength as well. So you can do different things like that to increase your grip strength, but also overall make you stronger. These are things that kind of help complete a workout. So if you're going to do basic workouts like bench press, squats, deadlifts, go for drop sets or whatever, always add in these stability workouts, which are old man strong workouts, farmer carries, things like that. Carrying one kettlebell and raise your other arm, and that's going to work your core, but carry them, right? And that's going to, again, help your grip strength overall. So there's so many different ways that you can increase your grip strength, but like Showtime said, have that mentality to always just overachieve, always try to grow and always try to be better. You dig? And it's nothing that you really can't, it's nothing that you can't do really that your mindset can't get you ready for. If you really believe and honestly in your heart that you can do something, you can really do it. And the spirit is going to back that up 100%. Think about this quote: God helps those who help themselves. So if you're going to go through this, then always believe that you can do it and chase it. Like, just don't say, I'm going to just do it and don't do nothing. Come back with action, massive action, right? And that's the mentality that you want to have, and I'm going to read this, what Ernest said. And I think this goes hand in hand. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develops the strength when you go through hardship and decide not to surrender. That is strength. And that comes with, like you said, that mindset. You just don't want to give up. You always want to have a resolve to come back at it. So if you didn't get the reps that you were looking for, then drop the weight and continue to go and further. That's showing that you're not ready to surrender. You're not ready to give up. You dig? So I always have a rule, and y'all can go ahead and do this too. When I'm lifting weights, whatever I'm doing, let's say if I'm shooting for 12, let's say if I'm hitting squats and I may only hit it for 10 reps, guess what I'm going to do? Drop the weight and I'm going to do at least 5 to 10 more because I don't want to surrender. I want to always continue to strive. Or what I'll do is if I stop at 10, I'll give myself a 10-second break and I'll finish out the reps and go for more because I don't want to have that mindset to just surrender and stop. If I fail at something, I want to continue to strive and get better versus allow myself to quit. So that's a mindset that you want to adopt to kind of help push the spirit behind you that says, we're going to help this brother get whatever he's going to get. And you can apply that really to everything. So, and I'll leave y'all at that for real, man. Any last words, so before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I just want to add in. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. I was gonna say not only do I preach about the calisthenics, but there's some things you can do in the gym too. I like how you just added the heavier dumbbells. The farmer carries are really good to work on that grip strength. And also, if you just want to take a lighter dumbbell and just kind of rotate it in your hands, that'll help you with the grip strength as well. So there's all sorts of things you can do, even with the cables, believe it or not. Just pulling in and out. And trust me, I know that's one thing I prioritize so I can do half of the amazing things I can do on the bar. It's just kind of working on my grip strength, working on my hands, working on that, keeping motion in those hands. So that and yeah, man, just I'm gonna divert one more time, go back to that mindset. I do the tea gimmies on Monday, and I don't say anything to offend anyone. It's not. If you have a mindset or that is anything that I said, man, it's not to be offensive. It's just to say, okay, so if you want to live, there's ways of living. And first, it's going to start with up here. If you're dead in the mind, and this is a quote I just came up with, man, if you're dead in the mind, you're going to be dead in the physical. So regardless of if we can't, everything you're talking about, man, you're talking about effort. That's all it is, man. It's just, don't give up on life. I know my situations, everything ain't the best. Financially, I'm not where I want to be, all sorts of things, man. Health-wise, I still have goals. family wise, I still have goals as a husband, as a father, but my mindset isn't. I don't harp on all my shortcomings, all the things I'm not doing right. All the ways I'm not. Or the ways I'm not eating, or maybe the physical activity that I'm not doing. Okay, so that perception is aging us as well. I'm gonna leave you with that. So just change that mindset. Let's do a mindset shift. That's my challenge for you tonight, and those are my last words.
100%, man. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. This was a really great show, you dig, because we speak a lot about different things, but we don't we can always hammer enough on longevity, because at the end of the day, we're trying to live the best way that we can for as long as we can, because a lot of us don't think in the future like that. So I'm glad you brought up the point where it said the Chinese think 100 years in the future. Think about your life in the future. Where do you want to see yourself at 50, right? You know what I'm saying? So just different things like that, man. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. And Ernest actually brought up one more great quote. I'm going to read it real quick. Exercise to stimulate, not to annihilate. The world wasn't formed in a day, and neither were we. Set small goals and build upon them. I agree 100% on that. Another one, he says, if you have a will, then you'll have a way to get it done. And that's 100% facts, for real, man. So again, man, this is Cobe from Rise and Rise. We got Showtime, you dig what I'm saying, from Showtime Training Group. Again, follow us on all social media, because we are here. You can talk to us, you feel me? And everything's right there at the bottom. Rise and Rise Academy, IG King Alajuwan. You can reach show on Facebook and IG at Showtime Training Group. You dig? Another good thing, we're the CMOS, man, is kicking off, y'all. If y'all haven't grabbed that CMOS, man, make sure y'all go get that CMOS, man. Shout out to Queen City Organics. You dig what I'm saying? Have a lot more coming in store for y'all. You feel me? So just keep tapping in, keep following us. We're going to give y'all some good game. You dig what I'm saying? And we do have the fall seasons coming up. So stay tuned, because we're going to have some great comebacks to fight off these things, because we all know that there's other COVID-19 variants coming out. So don't be alarmed. Just be prepared, because it's already here. There's nothing else that you can do about that, but there is something that we can do about ourselves, and that's choice. And we're going to have the choice to make a better decision, so that way we can last this thing and thrive with it. You dig what I'm saying? So once again, man, this boy Cobe Rise and Rise. You got Showtime in the building. When we face with an obstacle, what we do?
We rise and rise, baby.
Just a mega change, and I wake up every